I'm Rob Viorengo, Vice Principal of Palma, and I'd like to welcome you to Palma's virtual Meet and Greet Your Teachers evening for grades 10, 11, and 12. Some of you may remember that we would have a mini schedule night near the beginning of each school year, during which parents were invited to visit their sons' classes for brief presentations from teachers. Rather than having you try to navigate 6 or 7 different Zoom links in 10-minute increments, which would be challenging, we've consolidated this year's presentations by department, followed by some time for questions and answers. Before we begin these presentations, I want to begin our evening, as we begin all things here at Palma, with a prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Loving God, help us to focus on what we have, not on what is removed or changed. Strengthen us when we feel discouraged or overwhelmed. Embrace us so that we know your loving presence within us and among us. Walk with us as we bring your love and carry your light into our world. Amen. And we end our prayer by asking for the intercession of the founder of the Christian Brothers, Blessed Edmund Rice, pray for us, followed by the aspiration, live Jesus in our hearts forever. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. First, this evening, we're going to hear from the English department.
Well, good evening. I'm Sarah DeSantis, and I teach English 10 Honors. I also teach Religion 7. I'm the department chair, and I'm co-advisor of the Know You Matter Club. I just want to briefly talk to you a little bit tonight about an exciting new textbook we have. It's called HMH Into Literature, and it has an interactive textbook as well as a soft cover book. And one of the most exciting features in this is a program called Writable, and it's a 5-step writing process. So what the students do is they write their essay or submit their paragraph. Then once they've submitted that, they click a self-review button in which they hit play, and then their essay is read back to them so they can kind of target mistakes that they've made. Then that directs them into a peer review session where they have to review 2 peer reviews. And then after they make those suggestions and adjustments, they can submit their paper. And so it's really nice because a lot of the errors are kind of alleviated by that point.
Hi, I'm Mr. Starrett, and I teach the AP English language class to 11th graders. And I have 2 sections of that. I also teach 9th grade English and film studies to some of the older students. I'll just say a few things continuing on the writing program. We are excited about Writable and HMH this year and utilizing that across levels. But we've also been consistent through each year, even building from the junior high levels on our articulated writing program, using the 11 sentence paragraph and then building and expanding upon that as they get older to really make sure that they're prepared to write at the college level. When they're writing in an AP class, AP English language, they're supposed to be writing college essays. They receive college credit. And so we make sure that they're prepared when they reach that level.
I'm Mr. Thorup. I teach American and British literature to the juniors and seniors. As Sarah was saying, we're really excited about the new textbook. We also are using vocabulary.com this year, which is obviously a website with the .com ending, but is a really good way to continue to grow our students' vocabulary for academic and social and college purposes. And the fact that it's online, it lends itself really well for our current online learning environment. And just to kind of touch back on what Sarah was saying about the textbook, one of the things that we really use the textbook heavily for is introducing our students to a variety of texts from a variety of different authors from different social and economic backgrounds, which we just think with our current really complicated social environment right now is probably more important and valuable than ever. And so all the teachers are very intentional in making sure that our students are being exposed to a variety of different voices so that they can navigate college and the adult world with a bit more wisdom and a bit more clarity.
I spend most of my time in the admin world, but I do have the privilege of teaching one class. I taught English here for many years, and it's my pleasure to continue to teach AP English literature. Mr. Starrett teaches AP English language, which focuses on nonfiction, and I teach AP English literature to the seniors. It's a follow-up course that focuses on fiction. So next up is the math department.
Good evening. My name is Jane Burton, and I am the math department chair this year, and I get to work with a wonderful group of men who are just incredible. I teach Algebra 1 honors, Geometry honors, Pre-Cal, and Pre-Cal honors. And I'm going to turn it over to Tim.
Hi, I'm Tim Martinez. I teach geometry, algebra 2 trigonometry, algebra 2 trigonometry honors, and statistical reasoning in sports. I'm the head JV football coach, so if you have a sophomore son who's interested in playing, please sign up. I'm also the director of summer school and the director of the Smart Start program.
Hi, my name is Jason Moncure. I teach AP Statistics and AP Calculus AB in the math department, and I also run the Robotics Club.
My name is Mr. Saucedo. I teach the Advanced Algebra 2 Finance class. It's a brand new class for us this year here at our school. It'll be covering a few things like bank services, credit cards, automobile sales, some employment basics, independent living, learning how to look for a house, an apartment, square footage kind of things. Also, preparing for a budget, talk about credit cards, usage of credit cards and some savings.
I am Mr. Christensen, and I get to teach Calculus BC, which is a follow-on to Jason's class, Calculus AB. And basically what we do is we spend the first quarter reviewing 8B, because a lot is forgotten over the summer, and then we pick up with different representations like polar and parametric equations in calculus, and then we go into sequences and series. And if the student is successful, they can validate up to 2 years of calculus in college. And I will be followed by Miss Burton, I think, or no, Mr. Moncure.
Yeah, hi, this is Mr. Moncure again, and it's my pleasure to say welcome back from the math department. Over the past few years, Palma's math teachers have done an extensive examination of the curriculum in order to meet our students where they are and to help them be successful in their studies of math. For example, we have over 10 different math classes just from grades 10 to 12. We use multiple data points to place the students, and we continually review those placements throughout the school year to make sure that your son can be successful, not just in his current math class, but in the next class that he takes both at Palma and college in the future. Throughout the curriculum, we're constantly working to balance challenging material with deep understanding. Since last spring, we have had to pivot many times and adapt courses to create ways to help your son understand mathematical concepts. One of these ways that we would like to bring to your attention is the Wednesday Flex Day schedule. For math, this is a critical day that we will be using for a variety of purposes, including introducing new concepts, administrating, giving assessments, and providing individual or small group help. Please be sure that your son is available during the Flex Day class times. We appreciate all the support we have received as we continue to work to teach this challenging subject area to your son during these unusual times. And thank you for trusting us with his mathematical education.
All right, thank you, math department. Next up, we have our science department.
Hi, my name's Art Henry. I teach biology. All the freshmen have made, well, 3/4 of them do. Okay, teach anatomy and physiology. I also teach AP biology. I'm also the department chair for the science department.
Hi, I'm Armando Galindo. I'm the chemistry instructor here at Palma. I teach regular chemistry, honors chemistry, AP chemistry. I also teach the junior high physical science class. And I just really would like to thank you for sharing your sons with us here at Palma.
Hi, I'm Jason Moncure again. And in the science department, I teach regular physics and I teach AP Physics 1.
I'm Joey Silva, and this year I'm teaching AP Environmental Science.
In the science department over the last few years, we've been looking at our program and kind of tweaking it here and there. One of the things that I find really exciting about science is that it's so broad-based. There's so many different things that we could be studying. And what we've managed to do over the last few years is increase our course offerings. We now have 5 different AP courses you can take, several other upper division courses, and then everybody gets to do biology and some form of chemistry. Throughout the curriculum, one of the things that we work on that's becoming, well, it's always been important, but seems to be more important now than it has been in the past, is critical thinking. Looking at what's around, looking at data, looking at information, making evaluations, and then making your own decisions based on what you've found out. And we've got that built into all of our classes. Thank you.
All right, next up is our social studies department.
Hello there, I'm Scott Corner and I'm the Department Chair for Social Studies. I have all of our seniors for economics and government, and I also teach AP psychology.
I'm Mr. Naroyan. I am the Director of Student Life at Palma. I also teach AP World History and regular World History as well. And I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Plata.
Hello, I'm Mr. Plata. I teach World History to sophomores. I am also the AP coordinator. So if your sons are taking an AP course, please make sure that they're signing up for a course. I also coach cross country. So if your sons are interested in coming out for cross country, please come out. And if they didn't sign up for that AP course, I can run really fast to chase them down. Next, Mr. Cornazzo.
Hello, I'm Jeff Carnazzo, and I teach 11th grade United States history as well as AP United States history. I also do some junior high, some of the junior high PE classes, as well as the head varsity football coach.
And I'm going to do something a little different here. Hopefully this works out for us all. So social studies department, as we said, we offer 4 core classes, the world history course to the sophomores. We don't have a high school social studies course for freshmen anymore because we've better aligned with the English department between the sophomores. We have the US history course for the 11th graders. The senior social studies is 2 one-semester classes. They take economics in the fall, and then they take government in the spring. So it's 2 separate one-semester classes. We also have an elective course in social studies department, which is AP psychology for grades 10, 11, and 12. And we have I'll just put it this way, we're very proud of our AP program. We offer 4 AP courses, world history, US history, the AP government and politics, and the psychology course. And just as a little bit of a advertisement for next year, as you're thinking about your son's classes for next year, we are kind of an open enrollment in our social studies. Any young man who is willing to take on the challenge and put in the hard work, we are always happy to have them take one of our AP classes. The common themes across all of our departments or all of our courses here in social studies aligns nicely with their other classes. And we have these same expectations for our students in both the AP classes and in the regular college preparatory program. And then finally, you know, at the end of the day, we want our students to, or in support of the broader mission of the school, we want our students not just to understand what's going on in the world from the historian's perspective or the social studies perspective, but we want to embolden them to take action. While they're here at Palma could be doing community service, it could be registering to vote, feeding the hungry with Mr. Micheletti in the campus ministry program. But after they leave Palma, whatever their profession is, education, business, medicine, the law, whatever they happen to do, we hope that they will take Palma with them and stand in solidarity with those who are marginalized by poverty and injustice. So that's the social studies department. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have our theology teachers.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Corner. The mission permeates all. So I'm going to take you to our chapel here. I'm Jim Micheletti. I direct campus ministry, and I also teach 2 sections of junior level theology. So this is the colorful icon you see in our chapel on campus. The man close to Mother Mary and even closer to Christ is Christian Brother founder, Blessed Edmund Rice. We like to call him our proverbial big man on campus since he's about 20 feet tall in the chapel. We at Palma network with Blessed Edmund Rice Christian Brothers schools and missions throughout the world. The icon of Blessed Edmund Rice tells stories I really can talk about all night, but to keep it pithy, Edmund Rice hails from Ireland. He lived from the year 1762 to 1844. If you notice in the icon, Blessed Edmund's head is encircled by a Celtic spiral symbolizing the mystery and grandeur of God. Over his heart is a downward dove representing the Holy Spirit. His hands are open in loving service to the poor. Head, heart, and hands, Blessed Edmund imbues our school life with the light and color of faith and action, always at Palma from the God who is love. Thank you for watching, and I will now direct this to Mr. Beasley. Continue with theology.
Hi, good evening. As Vice Principal Villarengo in his prayer said, Father, bring your love and carry your light into the world. That encapsulates Palma's theology department. You've heard about our amazing departments, our math, our science, our social studies, our English, and soon you'll hear from Mr. Carnazzo about our PE department that does an amazing job during this time. In theology, we like to, it's a great time to grow spiritually strong. And I've got an amazing department. I'm the theology chair. I've been at Palma for 23 years and I graduated from there. And I'm just really proud to be a part of this group and proud to teach many of your sons. And with that, I'd like to introduce Adam Stebbins.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Stebbins. I am the Theology 10 teacher here at Palma. I also teach Religion 8 as well. Happy to have all the sophomores this year, a lot of familiar faces. Most of them I had a couple of years ago. Some of them I had last year as the freshman basketball coach. So it's a privilege. It's wonderful to have a number of familiar faces again, and looking forward to a great year, off to a great year so far.
I'm Mr. Berger, and I teach Theology 11, and I'm enjoying a reunion with my Theology 9 students from 2 years ago, and I trust it's mutual. I think it is enjoyment, seeing each other again in the classroom. In Theology 11, we're starting off by asking the question, is it possible to have an encounter today with Jesus Christ and a relationship with him? And the answer is a resounding yes. And not only that, but it's desirable. Next semester, we'll be asking the question, well, how does one live out faith in Jesus Christ? Is it possible to live a true moral life? And the answer is a resounding yes, and it's desirable. So that'll be the content of Theology 11 this year. And I'm also the moderator for the National Honor Society, which met today for the first time. There are applications that are coming to some of your homes in an email very, very shortly. So if you have a son who's in NHS as a senior or as a junior, make sure you get your name on the application, indicating that you're supporting him in this. It'll be due next week, so ask your son about that next couple of days. It should arrive in the mail tomorrow. So that was a little plug for NHS. I'm gonna hand it over to Mr. Micheletti.
I already addressed you with campus ministry, but I too teach junior level theology, and what I really challenge my students with is engagement. You know, faith is a lot like a bicycle. It really works best when you pedal. And so I've been offering students opportunities to get out in the community, and perhaps I can speak to that a little later if any parents had questions about service and advocacy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fred Doherty. I teach Theology 12, that's World Religions. I also moderate the Investor Club. So if your son is interested in learning about stocks, this is the club to be in. With regard to World Religions, I want to ask everybody how you woke up this morning. Is there anything special you did? One thing that I do with the kids is action. I like people to move, and so that your son has been doing some sunrise salutations. It's some yoga moves. Part of that concept is how you breathe, how you relax, how you stretch, and how you start your day. So some of the things I look for is inviting the students to think about how are they going to make the world a better place, and how might they live a more beautiful life. And there's a lot of richness that we find through the senior year.
All right, thank you, theology teachers. Next up is our foreign language department.
Good evening. Buenas noches. I'm Senor Gomez, and I'm in the foreign language department chair. I teach Spanish for near native speakers, which is a new class this year. And I also teach Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and Spanish 2 honors.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Andrea Ruiz. I'm soon to be Miss Aguirre. And this is actually my first year at Palma. And I'm teaching the upper levels of Spanish, which is Spanish 3, Spanish 3 honors, and Spanish AP language and culture.
I teach Italian 1, I teach Italian 2. I think in terms of the level 10, grade 10, I don't have too many students at 10 and up. But yeah, and so as we move forward in this year, it gets we did present tense mostly last year, basic vocabulary, and we're getting into past tenses, future tenses, conditional tenses, pronouns, grammar, and so it's always about practice. I'd like to mention again that culture is really important, and so to whatever we'll be doing it naturally, but to whatever extent your son can participate in cooking, films, travel. All those things are considered really important in foreign language to add value to your son's education and his future. Buonasera.
Hi, good evening. 你好，晚上好. I'm Mrs. Zhang. I teach Chinese 1, Chinese 2 honors, Chinese 3 honors, and AP Chinese and cultures. My main goal is developing students' foreign languages skills that are speaking, listening, reading, and writing. 谢谢. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from our fine arts and yearbook teachers.
So I'm just going to say just a couple of words about our fine art classes, everybody, our department, and then I'll speak a little bit about the classes that I teach in the yearbook. So first of all, good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Pagliaro, and the Fine Arts Department provides students opportunities to think and act creatively, as well as discover innovative ways to problem solve and think critically. All of our classes are rooted in traditional practices while introducing the technology that reflects contemporary industry trends. And in the visual art classes, the ones that I teach, those are your regular high school studio art class, the digital art class, as well as the AP studio art class. In these classes, the students produce about 3 to 4 projects a quarter. And these are designed to help our students work from observation and imagination, to analyze the works of well-known artists and styles in both Western and non-Western art, to use appropriate vocabulary in critiques and writing analysis, develop skills in concentration, accountability, and expression. And for students that are interested, they can produce a working portfolio or a reel. And I just would like to quickly say that the digital art students do all of this as well, but they come from more of a marketing and branding point of view. And we spend the first half of the year developing and working on projects associated with graphic design. And in the second half of the year, we do motion graphics, videos, commercials. We also do 3D animation and printing. So it's an introduction to the media arts. And we do have a yearbook this year. We are meeting on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. If any of our students would like to work on the high school yearbook, they can contact myself at yearbook@palmaschool.org. We will be working primarily online, as we all are right now. So we are looking for students who do have an interest in working on the computer, but also might be interested in documenting another phenomenal year at Palma through writing and photography.
I am Stephen Uccello. I have the honor of being the director of bands here at Palma School. This year I'm teaching the high school symphonic band, jazz ensemble, as well as audio production. It's our newest course in the music program, which runs a pretty wide gamut. We start all the way from making your own drum beats to running a recording session, all the way up to film scoring and doing Foley for like movie sound effects. And so it's just, yeah, an honor to be here. Thank you.
Once again, I'm Mr. Sterrett, and I have the privilege of teaching film studies to our students, which is certainly a unique class at Palma or anywhere really. In fact, I think it's probably the best class at Palma. It certainly was my favorite class when I took it way back in 2004, back in the day. It's a class where certainly the students are watching films, which is part of the enjoyable part, but it's also a class where we're analyzing those films as well. That we are focusing on the art side of the film, the choices that the directors are making, and really emphasizing those sort of same critical thinking skills that we might see in really any English class or social studies class. My goal, of course, is to instill in them an appreciation for film as an art, but also to kind of ruin every film that they watch going forward. And the kids will say this. That once they know the tricks, right, and they'll figure out the ending pretty quickly, and they never look at a film in the same way again. So it's a great class. It's a great opportunity that we have to show this to the students, and I'm definitely excited to be teaching it. Thank you.
All right. And finally, we'll hear from our counseling department.
Good evening. I'm Irina Short, and I'm the guidance director and co-advisor of the Know That You Matter Club. This is my 22nd year as a counselor at Palma, and I work with the 9th through 12th grade students whose last names begin L through Z.
Good evening. I'm Phil Jamalco. This is my 27th year here at Palma. I'm a 1987 graduate, and I am the high school guidance counselor for letters A through K. I have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. Both my boys are at Palma, so I am a Palma parent as well. And I also coach freshman football, and I'm the head varsity baseball coach.
Good evening. I'm Mr. Beasley. If your son went to middle school, I had the privilege of being his counselor. I'm the middle school counselor. I'm also the study skills teacher at Palma. I have one section which meets twice a week. We meet in the morning, and I help students get ready for tests, exams, quizzes, be prepared for their day, time management, advocate for themselves. It's a unique program that Palma is, I think, really fortunate to have, and the teachers work collaboratively and well with all the students with differing abilities.
Our mission is to help our students personally and academically, either one-on-one or in group settings. We conduct weekly grade reports and work with our students and faculty to help get them back on track. Palma is a college prep school, which means we are here to help navigate the college application process. We provide extensive support and information to our students throughout their 4 years. The counseling department uses a software program called Naviance, which is a comprehensive college, career, and life readiness program. We introduce it to our students freshman year, and they do things such as creating a resume. They take assessments like personality tests and career interest surveys, and they research colleges and majors, and they track everything in their account, and students and their parents have access to that 24/7. As counselors, we meet with our juniors the second semester, and we do that in their theology classes and prepare them for the college application process. We meet with our seniors weekly during the first semester, during theology classes, right now on flex days, and we give them weekly updates on colleges, universities, and work with them on their college apps. The class of 2020 had 33 students that accepted admission offers to Cal State universities. 11 of those 33 will be attending Cal Poly San Luis. We had 9 students that will be attending the University of California at Berkeley, Davis, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Barbara. We have several students that will be attending Loyola Marymount and Santa Clara University. Some will be attending Hartnell and MPC, and others chose to go out of state and will be attending universities in Arizona, Iowa, Indiana, Massachusetts, New York, Texas, Wisconsin, and Washington. We are extremely proud of all of our alumni. I'm also the counselor responsible for flooding your emails lately with virtual college fairs and virtual visits. I hope that you will be able to take advantage of some of those presentations to get the most up-to-date college information. If you have any questions regarding your son's grades or assignments in his classes, please reach out to his teachers, and then feel free to reach out to his counselor as well. We're here to help and support you in any way we can. Have a good night.
Thank you. Now that we've had a chance to hear from our teachers, I do want to have a few question and answer questions that have been posed for us. So I want to start not with a question actually, but with a comment from Mr. McPherson, who says, I don't have a question, but want to commend all the teachers at Palma for best in class execution of virtual learning. And it is my privilege to work with this faculty. I cannot think of a harder working group of individuals. And I know that Palma is providing an unparalleled experience in this area for our students in terms of these difficult times. And we look forward to, of course, having them back on campus. But we're so grateful that you've entrusted your sons with us and their education. There is a question here. Will the finance class, this was Mr. Ciceto's class, is that an elective? The algebra with financial applications.
I'll grab that one, Doug, if you don't mind. That class was actually designed at the Algebra 2 level. So when you get out of geometry, you pass into the Algebra 2 level. And that's going to be an Algebra 2 class taught with using the applications of finances. So it's not an Algebra 2 trig or an Algebra 2 trig honors. It's the Algebra 2 taught through financial applications. We just really felt like it was a great way or great venue to teach kids Algebra 2 skills using applications that they would use in the real world. I think there's also lots of other places such as the finance club that Mr. Doherty does, the economics classes, there's lots of other, but that class actually isn't necessarily an elective right now. I think people can take it if they're interested. I think it's gonna be a great class, so, but it is an Algebra 2 class.
It is envisioned more or less as a terminal class in the sequence, so it's for students who aren't progressing to pre-calculus or calculus.
Right.
Right. Okay. So kind of more of a practical, real world. If your son is interested in engineering, it wouldn't necessarily be the class that they'd be enrolled in, for example.
Exactly.
I have a question. I guess this would be mainly for Mr. Narayan and also specifically Mrs. Short for the Know That You Matter Club, but clubs in general. We have parents who want to know what's going on with clubs and when will they start meeting.
So I'll go ahead and answer this question. I have a process going right now of a Google Forms list that will go out to all students to kind of ask for interest in clubs that our students will have. One of those clubs is the Know That You Matter Club, which is a club that's really well standing within our community, and it's great for all of our boys. And all that information is going to be coming out really soon. What I would also encourage is parents, I've been sending out daily announcements, which also has club meeting times, as well as if you're looking at counseling or NHS stuff, all that stuff comes out in the daily announcements. I've been sending that to the boys and to the parents. I hope you're getting that, and I apologize if you are wanting to put that to spam. But I'm trying to send out as much information as I can right now on that. So that is, the clubs are coming out hopefully Monday with information and hopefully some videos about what the clubs are about on those days. So that would be my answer for that, Mr. Viringo.
All right, so club information is coming soon. Please be on the lookout for that. I know, for example, with Mock Trial, the club I'm the advisor of, we just got the case brief. So we will, they're planning a virtual competition. We'll be putting out that information soon. I have a question here about how parents can access Naviance.
Basically, all you need to do is if you go to the Palma website and you kind of scroll down to the middle. It says Naviance. You click on that, and then you're going to create an account for yourself with your email, and then you'll create a password as well.
Okay.
You can always look in on your students, his account too, but if you want to create your own, that would be the way to create it.
This next question would be one that I think I would answer. Not receiving the weekly emails with their son's grades. Well, we haven't activated those yet. They are certainly coming, but we had a bit of a delayed start to the school year. So rather than send out weekly emails that perhaps if a student had one missing assignment, you don't want to receive that he's getting an F before that can be addressed. So progress reports are actually coming out a week from today. And so you'll get the midterm progress report. And then after that, I will turn on the weekly grade report update. So you'll expect that each weekend as you have in the past. But we do encourage you to check Family Portal at any time to see your son's grades. Parents do have 24/7 access to that just by logging into the FACS Family Portal. And if you need help with that, please reach out to us, either to me or to Tech at Palma School, and we can get you access to that. I do have a question about community service. So what about service projects, and what about the community service requirement? What is the status of that?
Thank you, Rob. I'll take that as Director of Campus Ministry. The requirement stands at 60 hours by the time a student graduates from Palma. And ideally, students will spread that out over a number of years and not wait until they're seniors and try to rush and complete that. So we try to create quite a menu. We try to make it easy for students to do good, so to speak. One thing we have going currently that we're very excited about because there's such a need, it's called All in Monterey, and it meets at Seaside High School. It's run by a Palma parent, Tanya Costa, who is doing saintly work. Hundreds of cars come through every day to get food, milk, diapers, various necessities. A lot of our brothers and sisters are hurting right now. So sincerely and safely, we have to be there. Otherwise, they're pretty words without action, right? We want to step up. So we encourage all students to consider that. The Monterey Food Bank is looking for help as well. People can volunteer there, and we're generating quite a menu that will be getting out to students soon. But the one right now that really speaks to us is that All in Monterey on Tuesdays. Unfortunately, in this time of virus, we cannot provide transportation. Usually we would have the campus ministry van rolling, the van that has about 200,000 pretty sacred miles on it right now, going to Mexico and doing all the things we do. So parents would have to drive students there. Our students can drive themselves to these events, but look for more events coming soon. But again, I'd encourage you to think about All in Monterey at Seaside High School on Tuesdays. And we have kind of allocated from 3 to 5 as our time there to help our brothers and sisters in need.
Just as a quick follow-up, we do have questions about the service hour requirement. Will we still be holding students to 60 hours if the situation doesn't change in terms of social distancing? And I think we're going to take that under advisement. We certainly don't want to hold students to unreasonable standards. I know we had to waive that requirement last year because of this situation. So we will certainly not hold students to unreasonable standards.
I would just echo that, Rob, by saying, you know, flexibility is the essence of genius, particularly right now with the situation that we're facing. So I would look for an update on that depending on how things change. Thank you.
All right. Lots of questions mainly about clubs. So I guess there's interest in having the boys learn about finance, even if they're not in the algebra class with financial applications. Ms. Burton referenced the Investors Club, and there's some questions. How do you get involved in the Investors Club and learning about personal finance?
There's going to be a short videos that Nick Narayan's put together, and they're going to be shown to the students, as I understand it, and then they're going to be signing up for different clubs. If they have an interest in it, then they can sign up for the Investor Club. Investor Club started about 20 years ago. The guy who's chairman of Palma's board was the first president, and he worked tirelessly for it. We raised some money, and that money now has grown recently, before the more recent drop, to $270,000. So we fund scholarships. this interest in stocks is phenomenal right now. A lot of young people want to gamble, people in their 20s, but this is a life skill, and we meet on pretty much first and third Wednesdays of the month. That may change at lunchtime. Yeah, so if your son's interested, it can be every year's a little different, but it can be a fun experience. And plus they're learning about stocks and how you go about buying them and how you analyze them, mutual funds, those kind of things.
So that this year at least would probably be the best way to get involved if you're not in the algebra class, to get involved with some financial literacy this year. But we will, if there's enough interest, we'll certainly look into clubs with that.
And Rob, let me push this out for clubs as well. So if I wasn't clear before, we are pushing out a Google Doc, and we have moderators who are willing to have clubs. And so I've collected some information from our moderators. We've kind of fast-tracked clubs on our campuses here, and my goal is to get this out to our boys with some videos from our moderators that kind of give an example of clubs. And I'm going to push that out through our YouTube account and also through emails to our students and parents as well. And in doing so, my goal is to have students checkbox really what clubs they might be interested in. And then what I will do is send out that information to our moderators. And they can get in touch with those students through email to get them interested in those clubs. I really think clubs are vitally important in this time that we're in right now with social distancing. And so my goal is to really push the club interest, and I push it with our teachers, and I think our students are really wanting to be involved with this. So look for that next week, I would say, for that to happen.
There are a couple of questions. I want to be respectful of time. We'll probably be meeting for about 5 minutes more here. We do have, I think we're reaching the end of the questions. Our department presentation seemed to be so thorough. They answered very many of the questions that have already come in. So I'm not necessarily going to be redundant and repeat questions that have been already addressed. I do have a couple more asking if there's our virtual service opportunities, and perhaps in partnership with other Christian Brothers schools.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rob. We actually have an exciting opportunity coming this Friday at 4 o'clock. And we are going to be Zooming inside CTF Soledad Prison. We have a relationship there going back 8 years now for men who are working on amends, men who are very contrite about what they've done and are trying to turn their lives around. And a lot of those men are living in really horrific conditions right now with the virus. They are super confined, and a number of them are getting sick. So this Friday, we're going to have a chance to Zoom in. It's safe, and they can contact us in campus ministry. We can send the link out. It'll be really exciting. We're going to have people present there from other Christian Brothers schools, as well as other schools in the Bay Area. There'll be some university professors there, some journalists who've taken interest in this. It's really kind of taken off. So we're excited about that. So that's this Friday at 4 o'clock. So I would just simply have students send us an email, say they're interested in doing this, and we can send that link out to them for Friday.
As a quick follow-up, is there any opportunity to offer confirmation classes here at Palma? I know that's something that's been discussed.
If I were the bishop, I'd say yes. I'm not the bishop. We get asked that often. We really do. And so my advice there would be to speak to the bishop or go to the diocese itself and make that request. And perhaps that's something we could entertain down the road.
There's a question here that perhaps I would address about the text alerts, that we perhaps saw a text alert that yesterday was a red day, today was a gold day. We didn't have the flex day this week because of the Labor Day holiday on Monday. That situation is actually going to happen again in 2 weeks, the week of September 28th, which is a faculty in-service day on the Monday. So again, there won't be a flex day on the Wednesday. We'll have red and gold. But the question is how to get those text alerts. Those text alerts are being sent periodically to all the cell numbers in our database. And it was actually from a student who'd like to get them as well. We would need a student's cell phone number for the student to receive text alerts. So if you're interested in having a student's cell phone number added to the database so that he too would receive text alerts, you can let me know. Well, that really does look like it's about it for our questions for this session. Again, I want to thank the panelists for being so thorough in their answers in the presentations that you've addressed almost everything. If they didn't address something though, if we haven't addressed something, I do want to encourage you to reach out to the teachers directly and send an email. The whole point of this evening was to allow you to meet them, to see the faces and the voices behind the names that are teaching your sons and get a sense of who they are. Again, I'm so proud to work with them. They are the most dedicated faculty you can find. So please reach out to them. You can learn a bit more about them as well by looking at the faculty slideshow that's been out for a couple of weeks on Palma's YouTube channel, but that'll show you more about the courses they teach and a little bit about their background. So thank you so much for attending this evening. And as always, thank you so much for making the choice to send your son to Palma. Good night.